Yeah, hi everyone, welcome to Emsley Lodge for another week. A little bit light on for runners at the moment, probably going to be like that for a couple of weeks. So a little bit later on we'll go through and just show you it's yearling sale time, just go through what we're sort of looking for in yearlings, etc, etc. You can see this big colt here with the shadow roll on, which Talia's riding. He was one of our purchases from last year's yearling sale, so we'll just walk him forward, Talia. We'll just pull him out of the box a little bit later, and we'll show you exactly what we're sort of looking for. But you can see he's a nice big quality Toronado colt. Yeah, Colac Sunday. I've got Boulder County in there. She jumped out the other day and she just went too hard, and then she was really weak late. So we've just changed the gear over a little bit this week and had a bit of an experiment. I've got her in at Colac Sunday, but I'm not 100% sure I'm going to run her. I'll just there's absolutely nothing of this horse, and running her week after week after week might not be the smartest thing we can do. But anyway, I'll just have a good look at her over the next couple of days. I'll accept with her for Colac Sunday, but she's no good thing to run. It's difficult, these horses that are down in the ballot. If they get a run, you're sort of tempted to sort of run them. But anyway, we'll see how we go. So that's Boulder County at Colac Sunday. Got Bushka in a couple of spots this week. I've got him in a Colac Sunday and I've got him in a Terang on Tuesday. Not 100% sold which one we're going to go. I'll probably give him a gallop in the morning and see. The jockeys are saying that he's not really getting around the corners all that well, so Colac's the wrong track. But it's probably going to be the more winnable race, where Terang's going to be a really strong race, but the track will suit him. So I'll just be guided a little bit by how he gallops in the morning as to where we go with him. So it's Bushka either at Colac on Sunday or Terang on Tuesday. Got a Zoya in at Terang on Tuesday. Coming back to the mile, she ran a really good race over the 1700 at Warrnambool, stepped up to the 2100 and she just didn't run the trip. She moved into the race perfectly at the right time and just didn't finish off at all. So we've given her a couple of weeks between runs, freshened her right back up, and now she'll run over a mile at Terang on Tuesday. Got my leaders in a couple of spots. There's about 4 1600 metre races this week, which I'm going to run him in. He's had a nice little freshen up, and we're going to put the blinkers back on him and bring him back to a mile. There's actually a really nice race at Terang that we might run him in. It's one of those country qualifying championships, and I think he's going pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with him. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure where, but you'll see him nominated in 3 or 4 spots. Keep an eye out for him because he's going really well, this horse. I'm really happy with him, and you can see he just looks an absolute picture. So that's Miletus, and I'm not 100% sold where we're going to run him, but he'll certainly run in the next week. Yeah, yearling sale time of the year, and everyone's really busy sort of at all the sales, and I keep getting asked by quite a few people, what do we look for, how do we choose our yearlings? So we thought today we'd just go through a few things that we're very strong about as far as our yearling purchases go. You know, we spend around about 200 to 250,000 a year on yearlings, and our horses earn about 800 or 900,000 prize money every year. So that's sort of where we fit. We're quite different to a couple of the big Melbourne stables. They might they might spend 10, 12 million on yearlings, and their horses earn 6 or 7 million in prize money. Now that might not seem all that feasible, but they're potentially trying to buy a stallion, and then the stallions are worth 20 or 30 million. So that's what they're different to stables like mine. But we'll just go through a few horses, and I'll show you a few things that we're really looking for. Okay, very first thing we do when we're looking at our yearlings is we go through the sales catalogue. Trainers tend to lean towards a certain type of stallion. You might have noticed that I've fallen in love with Toronados. I think he's one of the best stallions that Victoria's certainly ever had. So I'm trying to buy as many of those horses that I can afford. Trainers tend to buy horses that we've had success with, and they tend to try and buy that similar sort of mare line. If you've had luck with sort of a certain type of stallion which crosses with a certain type of mare, you tend to try and buy that again, can replicate that. So the first thing we do is we go through there. What we more do is don't pick out horses that I potentially do buy, is horses that I don't buy. And it's easier to cross off 2/3 of the catalogue straight away, is that's not the right type of horse for us. I have to also buy for my client base, so it's no good me buying I'm Invincibles out of Group 1 winning mares. That's wasting my time. So we need to buy within a budget, and that's where it all starts. It all starts with the catalogue. Okay, here's a filly we bought out of Melbourne last year. Now she's a Toronado filly, and she's exactly the type of Toronado filly that we want. You can see what I was talking about being lovely and balanced. She got a beautiful shoulder, she's a great hind quarter, very sound in the legs, and you can see she's a really good type, but she's beautifully balanced. This horse has got a beautiful big long stride, and I expected that, and now that we've got her in work and we're training her, she has got a beautiful big long stride on her. So that's a type of classic sort of 3-year-old type of filly. She was a nice type of yearling. She's now a nice 2-year-old, and we're expecting her as a spring 3-year-old to be fully mature, and that's the type of yearling that we're really looking for. I think we didn't pay a lot of money for her, 35,000 or something like that, fully Vobist and all that sort of stuff. So if we could buy another one like her this year, we'd be really happy. Okay, here's a written Tycoon filly out of a stakes place mare that we bought out of Adelaide last year. Once again, you can see the balance, you know, the shoulder, the hind quarter, the girth, the rein. She's such a beautifully balanced filly. Now we bought her to get up and go a little bit earlier, so we made sure that her knees were very flat and that she's more of a late 2-year-old, early 3-year-old. Where the Toronado filly we showed you, she was more of a 3-year-old and then a spring 3-year-old and an autumn 3-year-old. With this filly we've deliberately purchased to get up and going. She's got a ripping pedigree, she's a great type, and written Tycoon fillies are flying at the moment. So we bought her out of Adelaide. She was around about a $70,000 purchase, but you can see she's all quality, and we've started galloping her and she's well above average. So that's the type of filly we're going to try and buy again this year. Okay, big colt we bought out of Adelaide last year. Once again, this is a completely different sort of horse to the two fillies. This horse is one of those horses, you can see he's a cracking type, he's got a real good pedigree, but he also opens up the Asian market for us. So if this horse happens to trial up well or races really well his first couple of starts, it opens up the market to on-sell these horses to Hong Kong. We had a ripping horse who's probably one of the best horses in Hong Kong now, called Tex-Mex. He's now called Helios Express. He was bought along the same lines as this, that we bought him to potentially race. If we want to race him and keep him, we can, but if there's always that option to on-sell him over to Hong Kong or Asia if we need to. But you can see the exact same sort of thing, the balance of the horse, you know, his shoulder, his neck, his girth, his hind quarter, they're all very, very balanced, the exact same, albeit he's a completely different horse to the two fillies. He's got the exact same thing that we continually look for. He's not this horse who's got a big bum and then weak in front, or he's got a big shoulder and drops off behind. All three of these horses are very, very similar, that they have a beautiful shoulder, so they'll pull from the front when they gallop, and they'll also drive from behind because of their hind quarter. So, but you can see he's a pretty sexy sort of big colt, and at the moment I'll probably be able to keep him a colt, but he's a horse called Colt 45. He's shown us well above average ability, but once again, he's only a 2-year-old Toronado. He's still 6 months away. You can imagine how beautiful an animal he's going to be in 6 months. That's the type of yearling that we're really looking for. That's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. I hope today's video just showed you a little bit what we're looking for with all our yearling purchases. We're in a sort of a different sort of scenario. We can buy horses that have maybe a little fault in front, where a lot of trainers can't because of our training facilities. We're galloping horses up hills in straight lines. We're not sort of banging them around little tight training tracks on race horses. We can sort of maybe buy a better quality horse with maybe a small imperfection in front that we know we can keep the horses sound. So, we bought, so far this year, we've bought some really nice yearlings and wrapped in the horses we've brought home. The done deal filly that we showed last week, there's only about 10 or 15% left on her, so if anyone is keen to get on her and they're holding back a little bit, I'd get straight on to Janet, because there's not a real lot of her left back in shares available in her. And New Zealand horses, they're sort of selling well, so if you're interested in any of them, by all means get on to Janet. What do we got? A little bit of a light weekend as far as the racing horses go again this week. We're going to be like that for the next couple of months, I think. We've got a lot of young horses in work at the moment. More or less all last year's yearlings are all in work getting ready for their first trials in the next few weeks, so it'll be a little bit light on for older race horses. All our better horses are sort of coming back into work. Those sort of all those mares that were racing in town last time in, they all come back into work this in the next couple of weeks, so we'll be really, really busy hopefully come winter. Until next week, see you later.
Right.
The Bible.
Yeah.
Let me open that up to a good page.